Hello everyone, and welcome to the Double Meal Dad Kitchens. I'm your host, the Double Meal Dad. Today we're going to switch things up a little bit. I know that all of you are, that are following us on the Google Plus and on the YouTube channel, that you know the concept of the Double Meal Dad. How do we stretch our dollar farther? But it's Thanksgiving weekend, and we got the kids coming home from college, or our daughter's coming home from the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. We got all the kids coming over. We've got friends visiting from overseas. So I'm going to give you a couple of quick appetizer tips because I know you're running around going, what can I do that's different? How can I do something a little bit different? So I got two little quick ones here for you, and we'll upload the video and we'll put the recipes for these right on the web page there. Of course, Double Meal Dad's got to get his soup bag. I just emptied it recently. I'm making my broth for the house because I need the broth for the stuffing and all the other things that I'm going to make. So I'm just going to really quickly cut up a couple of pieces of celery here. And this is just a really nice shrimp appetizer. A little bit spicy because we're going to make it with siracha. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some celery and just cut it up nice and fine here. So I've got some nice chopped celery. Now I've cut 2 stalks. Depending on how crunchy or not crunchy you want this to be, 1 stalk may be enough. You certainly won't need any more than 2 stalks to do this. And then I'm going to start this recipe with 1 bag of some cold water salad shrimp. Now this is a 1-pound bag, 16 ounces. I get it up my local HEB. It was $5 for a bag of shrimp. That's a great price. And all I'm going to do is, you'll see how it comes out. It's a salad shrimp, right? So it's those little tiny shrimps that are in there. Great for an appetizer size. I rinsed them out and I was just draining them. So I'm just going to use that bowl right there so they're nice and dry now. I'll get that out of the way. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to just start building my appetizer here. So just a little bit of celery. Add that in there. Cut up this other one. Looks like I'm going to need 2, so let me go ahead and cut this up real quick. I just want them to be nice little, chopped pieces. If you have one of those hand choppers, Mama Rose likes to use that, hand chopper that they have when she makes her meals. And I'm just an old guy with an old-fashioned technique here, so that's the way I just do things a little bit differently. I'll go ahead and throw that on there. And then I'm going to use a half a red onion. So again, we're going to get our red onion out here. And go ahead and take those ends off. Might as well just go ahead and do this whole onion because with the holidays coming up, I know I'll be using this. Go ahead and put that in my 4 soup bowl bag right here. Oh, by the way, thank you for those of you who have written in and said you've already started your 4 soup bags. That really makes me feel good that I've given you a tip that you can use, and hopefully you start to use fresh broth instead of going and buying the broth. A lot of good high quality broths you can buy, but you can't get better than homemade in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and just dice this up. So again, our technique here is we're going to put just some slices along the onion. And if you have a nice sharp knife, it shouldn't be any problem to pick any one spot. And then, sometimes you see people go this way. I don't really know that helps you much with cutting the onions. And not only that, the potential to hurt yourself is there. You're going to get a nice small pieces this way without having to go to that extra step. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice this really thin. Again, I'm using my knuckle to keep that knife away from cutting myself. And the other thing we want to be careful of for you newbies that are doing this, don't hold your thumb too close there at the edge because I don't want you to cut it coming back there. Keep that thumb in, keep that knuckle that way. Let's keep ourselves from getting hurt here. Double Meal Dad doesn't want anybody writing in saying they got hurt using a knife. It should be very easy to use the knife and just chop this up. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this in here. Let me see what I got as far as the red onion is concerned. Looking really good. And so that's it. Right now, that's all we need as far as the main flavors I'm going to cut out just a little bit more of the red onion. When we get to the end, we can kind of use that like that, and then just go ahead and cut that up. We just don't want any big chunks in there. We just really want it to be small. I used to work at a pizza place back when I was 14 years of age, back when you can get away with working before you were 16. And we had a couple of prep chefs that had two knives, and they just had big white onions, and they sat there like this and just chopped up the white onions so that when people ordered onion on their pizza, they had the white onions all set for them. Go ahead and just add the rest of this in here. And now we're set to go. So I'm just going to mix this up a little bit. Now, the next part of this is really easy, and it's really to taste. So I'll put the recipe, the general recipe, on the website, but I'm using light low-fat mayonnaise, and it's really about 2 tablespoons of this. Now, if you notice that yours is either, not wet enough or maybe too wet, feel free to dial this back or dial this up. Of course, if you put it in already, you can't take it out, but just start with 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons to that 1 pound of shrimp. You should not be too wet at this point. And then, all we're going to do is add some sriracha. Now, this is all to taste. So, Double Milled Dad, we like things spicy at the Double Milled Dad. Of course, it helps if you open the thing first. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't have much left in this one. I bought a brand new one, but I'm going to go ahead and get it really spicy. Now, this wouldn't be a good appetizer if you're going to have like a wine tasting, because, they tell you, don't serve spicy stuff with wine. It upsets the flavor. I think we talked about one of the wines that has a spicy flavor to it, a habanero wine that we had tried not too long ago here on the Double Milled Dad. I'll go ahead and get the rest of this sriracha in there. Alright, I think that should be good. Now, all you got to do, put this in the refrigerator, let it set up, get a little cool, get a little chilled, and then we've got some HEB golden rounds here. So all I'm going to do is grab one of these crackers right out of here, and then just put this in a nice bowl or something like that to serve it up to your guest. Just put a little bit on a cracker, and oh my god, oh, so good. It was really good with cold beer. Okay, that's our first one. We're going to take a short break and come back to the Double Milled Dad Kitchens. We're going to go ahead and serve up the next one, which is black bean hummus. So come back and we'll be with you in just a few minutes. Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2. Again, it's Thanksgiving week here at the Double Milled Dad Kitchen, so I'm just going to share a couple of appetizer recipes for you. I know that you got probably parties or going to somebody's house, or you got people coming over, and you're probably thinking about a couple of things to do. So we just shared our spicy shrimp with you. We're now going to do our black bean hummus. So this is a really simple recipe. All I'm doing is taking some garlic. Now, the garlic here is really up to you as far as how garlicky or not you want it. We like really garlicky hummus. So I'm going to put 5 or 6. Again, I got my garlic skins here. I'm going to use that for my 4 soup bag. We like really garlicky hummus here at the Double Milled Dad Kitchen. So I'm going to do probably 6 cloves of garlic here. And again, we don't have to worry about chopping them up because we're going to put them in a blender. This is really an easy recipe. The hardest part about this recipe is getting the black bean to mix up. But again, if you say to me, I'm not a Double Milled Dad, I don't like a lot of garlic in my recipes, it gets too garlicky, not a problem. You can cut this recipe back a little bit. So I've got 1 big huge clove of garlic in there, a big giant one, and then about 4 medium-sized ones, so about 5 in there. And then Mama Rose grows these little, what we call Chili Pequins down here in Texas, little red chilies. So these are especially really hot chilies. So I'm going to throw probably about 5 of those in there. Don't tell anybody else I threw a 6th one in there. Have a little bit of heat to that. Really, really hot. Got not as hot as a habanero, If you don't live in this part of the country, or if you can't get the Chili Pequins, you could use a jalapeno. The serrano would be a better pepper, a little bit milder flavor. The jalapeno and the habanero both have very distinct flavors, so you're going to pull that out. You don't really want it to overpower the black bean. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a little tahini. So tahini is just sesame paste, right? And you can buy this at your local grocery store. Almost every single grocery store now sells some of the, anywhere they have like Asian type food, they'll have an aisle for this type of thing. So I'm just going to use my teaspoon here, and I'm going to throw 2 teaspoons of tahini in here. And then now the secret ingredient is, so this is refried black bean that just comes in a can. And this happens to be the 20.5 ounce can. And before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a quick coarse chop so I can get a little liquid in here. And then I'm going to start adding the black bean, juice and all, because I need a little bit of liquid in here to mix this up. And the problem you're going to have is, by the way, I noticed I have a little bit of a, don't feel Dad likes to clink on the on my pots and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and, now, so you don't have to hear me blending, and what I'm doing is I'm going to use the back of my spoon here, or if you have a smaller spoon, you can just kind of push that down in here. And the key is going to be, we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep pushing this down until we got it nice and smooth. So let me go ahead and blend this through. I'm just going to work it down in here and keep pulsing it and getting it all blended up. And when you come back, it'll be all smooth. So we'll see in a few minutes. Okay, y'all, welcome. I've finished blending this up, and I want to show you a little bit of trick here. Before I do, let me apologize. That's why I have Mama Rose as the producer instead of me, because I made a mistake. She said during the video I said 2 teaspoons. I meant 2 tablespoons, so it's 2 tablespoons of tahini. So again, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of tahini, about 4 to 5 of our Chili Pequins, and then our 20.5 ounce can of refried black beans. Now you could do this with any type of frijoles you want. You could use, you know, regular black beans. You could use a, you can use like a pinto bean, any type of canned pinto bean like that. So if you like a different flavor, not a problem. One other trick. So what I do is, never with a wood spoon because you don't want to get wood chips in here, but what I do with my metal spoon is to help this go a little faster is I kind of push down on the sides because that black bean is thick. So you're not going to be able to hear me really well, but I'll show you what I do. So I just kind of go like this. Watch out for the blade, of course. Keep your hands covered. And now it's really blending well. You know, it's kind of making that little vortex in there. So there we go. So I'll cut this off. And you know, my lid for my blender has one of those little removable pieces there. So I just take that off and I go ahead and do that. So now what you should get is you should get something that looks almost like a chocolate mousse. That's nice and creamy and light and airy, and just blended through beautifully. And I'll just serve a little bit up here in the bowl to show you what it looks like. Put that on there. So we've got our black bean hummus, and then we like to use just the regular little pita chips that you can buy. Our local HEB always has a discount on them. Buy something, get these free. So yeah, just dip them like that and eat them. My gosh, that's so addicting. You just literally, Mama Rose and I put a bowl of this out, and we eat the whole thing. Sometimes we don't even eat dinner. We just eat this for dinner with a nice bottle of wine. Anyway, I just want to share a couple of quick appetizers with you. I hope you use them for the holiday season, whether it be Thanksgiving or the December holidays. I wish you all, you and your family, just the happiest of Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for joining, and thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time on the Double Meal Dad. Take care. Bye-bye, y'all.